Hi, this is Susan Colby. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our Module 2 assignment, and of course this module is building an organized, aligned course. So again, we're going to be looking at our Agile Teaching Strategies chart, and you're going to actually complete the top portion this time. In our last session, we had you complete the left-hand column, so you would talk a little bit about what you've already been doing face-to-face. Now we're going to start looking at different components. And our goal for session 2, module 2, is to fill in the course organization and the community building and communication going across. So actually what you're going to do at the end after you've kind of completed those sections is post on Flipgrid discussing your course structure and ideas for communicating and building community. And you're also going to then after that respond to 2 teammates. And I would suggest that you look at the quality feedback suggestions because they're crafted for this exact module. So a little bit about how to think about those particular components. First of all, when you're thinking about course organization, as you know by looking through our materials, the first thing you need to do is really think about quality learning outcomes for your course. And we've included this particular article written by James Lang about what do you want your students to remember in 20 years. And I think this kind of captures that idea of what's the big picture. What are the large competency skills, the knowledge that you would like them to remember if you saw them again, your students, in 20 years. So capture your learning outcomes first, and then think about what's the most important things that will have to be highly adaptable so that you can have students meet your learning outcomes in the fall of 2020. So then you want to take your learning outcomes and think about what's the most relevant and predictable course structure that will help students navigate the course and be successful. And I'm just going to give you a couple of examples, and these would go in that course organization section. So for this particular course, this is the Agile Academy, we knew that it was going to be asynchronous, that it was large enrollment, that we had 2 weeks only, and our goal is to support you and that there would be no grade. So obviously we designed a course structure suitable to that, and our strategy is prepare, post, and then provide feedback. Not only are we talking about getting you the content, but we're really making sure our structure has a place for you to interact not with just the content but also with other students and with the instructors. Another course type might be that you teach seminar and you actually used to meet 3 days a week for 1 hour and spent a lot of time in high quality, robust discussion. Your possible strategy, and it could be of many things, might be to read and then respond, and that would be where we get the student interaction, and then to reflect based on not only the readings and the articles you posted, but also what they've learned from their other classmates. Another example would be a lecture large course. A lot of content, but you obviously want students to be interacting in the content. So you might have the lecture. You might actually have them do some quizzing, which will also lower the high stakes assessment grades, which can be very helpful, especially in a semester where you'll need to be highly adaptable. And then you, of course, want them to work with other students to learn the material and apply it. And so you might do case studies, debates, just simple discussions, ways of interacting with other students around the content. Last type I'm going to give you, and these again are just brainstorming samples, but you might have an advanced problem-based course. I know of folks on campus that do their entire course around debates, case studies, things like that. So yours might be prepare, because there's a lot to prepare for, reading articles, reading the case study Excel, researching if you're going to have 2 sides to a debate. All of that might be under a prepare. Then they might operate in learning teams. That is where they interact with the content and with each other and learn from each other. And then they have to reflect after you've gone through those 2 activities. So these are just types of predictable course structures. Of course, you should adapt it based on your goals and what you plan to do with your students. So after you think about your course structure, again, we're going to be thinking about what are the tools you'll need to support this pattern, and how can you use As You Learn to make your course easy for students to navigate. So those are just some ideas, and of course this will go back into your Agile Teaching Strategies chart under the course organization horizontal row. A couple of resources just to get you started. there is a teaching guide on the CAE website, and obviously it's called Course Organization, as you can see here. This has a lot of information, recommendations, and there's tools and tips and resources embedded right in the content that you see on the CAE website. So I would go there first, give it a good read. I think there'll be a lot that can assist you in thinking about how you're going to do the course organization for your course. Another helpful resource is you'll see a second teaching guide. It's the instructional strategies. Now, we're not doing the instructional strategies right now, but we are trying to add some information about building community and establishing a presence. And as you can see on this particular teaching guide, there's a lot of information about good ways to do that with embedded links. There's a lovely video that we have put in the Agile on the As You Learn site, but we also have this link to the CAE webpage, and it's called Strategies for Student Success. You may want to look at this video. It has very helpful suggestions about different ways to use tools to build community and a sense of belonging in an online or hybrid course. And last, as you're going across and completing this chart, do think about the technology that you may need to learn to be able to support your goals in terms of what they'll be doing. Again, as I mentioned in our last video, think about the As You Learn tools that you can use. There's also a lot of Google, different documents, slides that can be very useful for not only you to talk about content, but for students to interact. And then, of course, I'm using Screencast-O-Matic right now. There's Zoom, which many of you have already used, VoiceThread, and Flipgrid can all give life using those tools to some of those course organization and community building kind of areas that you really want to have students be successful in your course. So that's it for your assignment for our second module here. And let us know if you have any questions, and we will talk to you soon.